we were supposed to do, and it's really, I think both of them are really good stories.
Well, it's your passion, Gary. And I think that's what I love. When I meet passionate people, I'm all over that because I just love people who are passionate. So, hey, we are live.
All right.
Hey, Facebook world. And if you're watching later, you might be watching on the website or a link, and that's awesome. You are tuning in to Healthy You this gorgeous Wednesday morning. I'm Kim Martin, host of your show, and I have my wonderful friend and owner of Water Medics, Mr. Gary Spencer, with me today.
Thank you.
Gary, welcome.
Thank you. It's early, but I'm ready to go.
It's early, and we are going to be talking all about water today. And I have to thank you for making me a water snob.
You're welcome. That is my passion to do that.
Yes. So as Gary and I were just talking right before we started the show, I said I love passionate people. And the thing that most attracted me to you, Gary, and what you do is your sincere passion for water. Like, I've never met someone so passionate about
more of a curse.
Water. Is it a curse? So you've been on the show with me before, and we
Yes.
worked together through I've Decided. And, of course, I'm a client of yours.
Yes, you are.
6 months or so, I got my own water treatment system at my home, and that's what I was joking about. You made me a water snob. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. But first, I want to just say we want to know that you're watching. I love to hear comments, likes, loves. Let us know if you stop in and tune in. And right now, we're doing this whole new thing where we're really, truly live on Facebook, and I can actually see if you post a comment. There might be a little bit of a delay, but I'll be able to see that comment, and we can give you a shout out or maybe even answer your question live on our podcast this morning, which is super duper cool.
That would be great.
Yeah. And so you call yourself Water Medics.
Yes.
And I love it. So I'm like, okay, we got Dr. Love, we got the doctors in the hospital, we got the doctor of water here. So
Yes.
where did you get that name, and what's that mean to you?
Actually, it makes a lot of sense because what we're doing is improving the health of the water. If we can improve the health of the water, we can improve your health. And so it makes a lot of sense when we're talking to people. A lot of people are dehydrated. A lot of people are not getting nutrients into their cells like they should, which water helps a lot, and they're not able to flush out their toxins out of their body when they're using the wrong kind of water. It helps a lot. So it makes a lot of sense. And we're also doing air too now.
I know you are. I have my air filters. I love those too. But okay, so I just had an epiphany here. You said you're a doctor. I'm thinking like Water Medics. I'm still really correlating that to a person, but really you're doctoring the water.
Yes.
So you're like literally the doctor of water.
Right. I'm improving the water so it improves
You're making
you.
the water better. So let's talk about our water, because you've got your little, I don't know if they can see your little doctor kit, but I see some things that are like, So you have your medical box, and you come out and you test our water. And what's going on with our water? I mean, what's the major issues with our public water that we're drinking that you see on a regular basis?
Mainly the amount of treatment that they do to it.
Okay.
Not only the source. The source is already polluted, so they're filtering and then they're treating it, which that means adding chemicals to it. The chemicals got a purpose. They're doing their job, keeping the plumbing system from growing bacteria and things like that. But they don't take it out.
Okay.
So there's no real need for us to have it in our body. So when it's done its job, we can then remove it from your home, so you're not breathing it in a shower, and you're not absorbing it into your skin, and you're not drinking it.
You're not drinking it.
Chlorine, ammonia, chemicals in the water that are naturally in the water or put in the water, a lot of them aren't necessary once they get to your house.
Now, let's be clear. We're glad that they purified
Yes.
the water with those things, because we don't want bacteria, and we don't want to be sick and get that bad bacteria in our gut. And the only way to get rid of that is to kill it with things like ammonia and chlorine.
Yes.
So you got to have that in the water. So we don't want to, poo-poo that idea. But at the same token, what you're saying is from the tap to your mouth, you got to have something to take that stuff out before you put it in your body.
Right. So if you're able to do that step, then the whole process works great.
Right.
They do their job, you do your job, and then your body's, the benefit.
And I tell you what, I can tell a difference. I said you made me a water snob, and it's so true. Like
Right.
I even carry my own water bottle into the restaurant sometimes. I carry it everywhere. I got my little water bottle everywhere I go because I can tell a difference. And I have to be honest, Gary, I drank a lot of water out of plastic bottles before I met you.
Yes.
I was a plastic bottle water drinker. And, there's so many reasons to not drink your water out of plastic bottles because, well, we're polluting our.
There's
Where
one
are
right
they
there.
going to put all this plastic? That's
Right.
the first and foremost thing. You need to drink out of reusable water bottles.
Yes.
And then you got to make sure that you put the right water in there. And I love your slogan that you always say. You're either going to be the filter
Yeah.
or have a
It's better
filter.
to have the filter than to be the filter.
I do not want to be the filter. That
Right.
is for sure.
That's right.
So, all right. So we have all these toxins in the water. And I think, you're watching. And I know a lot of, about this. People are, we know that there are toxins in cleaning supplies and there are toxins in the air and there's toxins in our water. And we're starting to do a good job as a society in recognizing we need to be healthier. We're exercising. We're eating better.
Right.
But the
That's half.
one of the number one things in our health is drinking water. When someone's just getting started on a healthy living plan, the first thing we talk about is water.
The water.
And so
if you get really healthy water actually is able to pick up your nutrients, flush out your toxins. So there's a connection there. There's a pull. That also means it picks up whatever else. So if you have it stored in plastic, which is made with phthalates can disrupt your body. They can build up in your body. Well, the water's just doing what it's supposed to do. Pick that up. And so if the bottle is designed to break down in the landfill, it doesn't know the difference between that and breaking down while it's sitting in the store.
right.
So it's breaking down into the water. And what I always worry about is 10 years from now, finding out what we were doing 10 years ago.
Right.
That was not healthy for us.
Well, and then they come out with this and they said, well, as long as the plastic water bottles, it's just the heat that causes the toxins to release. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, how are you supposed to know where these plastic bottles have been sitting on
Exactly.
trucks in, Florida somewhere in the baking sun? We don't
Yep.
know this, right?
They
We don't
say
know.
is 38,000 trucks a week deliver bottled water across the United States.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of trucks.
And so we have no idea where this water's been sitting. And so I just started thinking about that. Hey, I see Melissa Smith is watching.
Hey,
Melissa and Tim are watching. Thanks for joining,
customer.
Melissa. Yay! We love Melissa. We're grateful to see you watching this morning. There's about 5 people watching. So, hey, give us a shout out. Show us some love. We're thankful for our live viewers this early
Yeah.
morning. Most of our viewers come back and watch later, so we're
They're
good.
troopers.
I know. So we're always happy when people are watching live. That's a good thing. And we are talking about water and the importance of water, but the importance of good water. All right. Now, one of the things, and I've been working in health for 20 something years, you know this, but I've learned a lot from you about water. And one of the things that you talked to me about, and I want to share with the listeners, is about cellular hydration.
Right.
So
This is important.
This is important, and I want you to explain that.
I've been teaching for a little while, and the fact is, rain comes down, is purified. So it attracts contaminants from the air,
Okay.
pulling them in, cleaning our air. It goes down to the ground, and it attracts contaminants from the ground, pulling them in, and bringing them out away from the rest of the earth and the air. So that's its job.
All
So
right.
if we can bring our water back to rain quality water, and then when we drink it with food, it's able to pull in our nutrients. If we're able to drink it and it's able to pull in our toxins and flush us out and help us to stay healthy, it makes a lot of sense. So what we have found is that the intercellular hydration is really the key. That's the key. You could drink all day long. If you're not drinking the right water, you could still be dehydrated inside your cell.
That was one of the questions. I said, can you be drinking plenty of water and still be dehydrated?
Yes, you can actually have your blood tested and they can show that you're dehydrated.
Yeah, well, when you go to the emergency room, the first thing they do,
Put an IV in there
and they do that
to
because
hydrate you.
most, 70-something% of people are dehydrated.
The
is
medicine works
percentage.
better, and you feel better when you're hydrated. And you're like, oh, I'm cured, and it's the water.
You're all of a sudden in the emergency room. Melissa says she loves her water system.
All right, yay.
I love mine too. So isn't that funny? And that's the other thing. I just read that, maybe I learned that from the first show that you and I did together, but something along the lines of 70-something% of people are dehydrated. And a lot of the symptoms when you go to the emergency room, the symptoms that you're having are dehydration. And so when they plug
they're way ahead of the game.
Yeah, so when they plug that IV into you and get you dehydrated, all of a sudden
They get you hydrated.
or hydrated. Yeah, they don't want to get you dehydrated. They get you hydrated, and all of a sudden you feel better.
Right. And the whole concept is that for us is that we have done studies on water, and the people who are drinking the right water, which is the system I sell, by the way, we can get their intercellular hydration back up to where it should be.
Right.
So a baby's at 100% intercellular hydrated. By the time we're 18, our intercellular hydration drops. By the time an average retired person they retire, they're at 15% intercellular hydrated. 9% is death.
Oh my gosh.
So what we've been able to do is bring people back to 80 and 90, maybe not 100, but 70, 80, and 90% intercellular hydrated when they're after retirement.
And it's so
a huge
affordable because by the time you're not buying all this plastic water all the time, and you're paying for your system, and it's just an investment in your health. It's what I call preventative care, and I tell everybody on this show all the time, for every $1 you invest in preventative care, you get a $5 per dollar return. That's what the statisticians say. I know. So it's actually quite amazing. So, all right. I know when you came to my house and you tested my water, I was afraid because I live in a 1959 old house in Idlebrook, and I already knew. I'm like, this water tastes. I could taste it. The chemical. It was
you
just
to chew it.
It was horrible. And so I was like off the Richter scale. I was like in the 600s or something.
It's high. Yeah, it was really, really high. And now it's not.
And now it's not. I know. And it's
so
like,
now you've become this water snob.
And I give my dog the pure, and I give my doggy the pure water too. My husband's like, why do you want that dog to live?
Yeah, he's like, I ain't giving it to him. But it's funny. I have done that in people's home where I take their regular water, put it down on a bowl, and put my water down the bowl, and the dog will sniff both and go to my water every single time.
Yeah, well, it's actually clearer. Like, I know this is crazy. You're probably like, I'm not sure it's clearer, but I swear when I put the filtered water, into Howie's bowl, it looks clearer.
Yeah, well.
The other looks more foggy. Even though,
it can.
I mean, again, my whole house is filtered through your water softener because I got the water softener system.
Everything, yeah.
So even that is way, way, way better. Before, you couldn't, like my kitties, if you try to put water in a bowl out of my daughter's bathroom upstairs, it was completely cloudy.
Really?
Oh, yeah, completely cloudy. And now it's not cloudy yet.
Filtered, softened, and sanitized in every spigot in your home.
That's right.
And purified at the drinking water for your specific.
And is this would be considered like reverse osmosis?
That's part of it, yes, absolutely.
What does that mean exactly?
So osmosis naturally goes from low pressure to high pressure.
Okay.
But the problem is we're trying to push the water through the membrane, so we go from high pressure to low pressure, so it's reversed.
Oh,
so we're pushing it instead of pulling it in. Reverse osmosis is just naturally pulls it in through the pressure, but we're pushing it through the membrane.
Okay, now the other thing that was out there that was a little miscommunicated information that I actually had to retract on because I was like, I told my members the wrong thing because I always want to make sure they have the best information at my members at Curves, the best information possible. And if I give them the wrong information, I want to make sure that I go back and retract that and say, okay, this is better. So the acidic levels in your water. You really helped me understand the truth behind because that was a big deal. Everybody's talking about,
That's
oh, you don't want
another
acidic
thing.
in your
I've
water,
had
blah,
so
blah.
many people talk about things that they think they know, but it's not really the truth.
Well, because we heard it
So much.
on Google.
Yeah,
We
so
watched
much.
it on the internet. We saw a YouTube
But
video and we believed it, right?
Alkaline water will make your body acidic. Acidic water will make your body alkaline. That's the biggest thing. And what happens is we want an alkaline body,
That's right.
but we need the clean, pure water to flush out our toxins to be able to attract the toxins to pull it in. The fuller the water is, the more alkaline the water is, it makes it almost impossible for your body to use the water. So it has to filter it first, then get it to the point where it can pull it in. And at that point, instead, just start that way, and it can pull it in much quicker, and attract your toxins and bring them out. So basically, I don't know how many chiropractors I've had who said, yeah, I tell them to drink this alkaline water, and they're still acidic, and it's because that's the
It's the opposite.
It's the
like
opposite.
It's the opposite of what you're thinking.
Absolutely. Food should be alkaline. Your body, your blood should be, you try to get it balanced as best you can. But to do that, we need clean, pure water. And clean, pure water just happens to be acidic. And the reason it's acidic, because it attracts.
It has to pull that out. That makes sense.
It's attraction. So that's exactly the way it works. And if you do that, you will feel the difference. You'll notice the difference.
Yeah, you absolutely can. All right, so you come in and you test the water. You do free tests for everyone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost anybody anything to
Right.
see. So are you curious where your water levels are? Gary's your guy. You want to get in touch with Gary and
So
have
we
him come
took our
out.
price sheets from the labs locally here in Peoria, and we're able to show you what you would have paid if you would have had them do the tests. And I come and do it right fresh out of your tap. There's no chance of it evaporating or whatever. We can get the real true readings of your water. And you can see that it's over $150 worth of testing that you would have had to pay if you went to the lab.
Right.
And it's totally free. And then I can help you understand it. I can explain things. I can look at your plumbing. I can show you things that may be issues. It's all free. And at that time, I can show you what I would do, and then you would at least know. There's no need to make a decision at that point, but I always tell people, how long do you want to drink that water?
I tell you, it's pretty gross. I was like, because as soon as you put the water there, I saw it turn this, like, whatever the bad color is. It just, like, instantly, I'm like, oh, no, it's worse than I thought.
But besides just the water, we also are water treatment experts, so we do professional installations. We help to get the system in where it's supposed to be and to cover all the different plumbing that you need. And what we found in a lot of areas, they're getting pinhole pitting in their pipes and things that are eroding their copper. And so I'll give you an example. One of the things that we did not too long ago is we went to a lady's house and we just switched her system out with one we had.
Okay.
On the other side of the basement. She had a shut off right there. We didn't even go to the other side where the main was coming in, which was under the landing, and then it went up into a finished ceiling and all the way across. 2 days later, she calls us up, I've got a flood, and we're freaking out. We're thinking, oh no, what do we do? And we get there, and it's a pinhole, just a pinhole right in her copper pipe, right above the shut off, which we were never at, the main, in the drywall.
Oh, no.
And she's panicked. She had to shut her water off. So for us, it's better to, if we're going to have a problem, let's just fix it right now. So we went in and from the main all the way to the softener, which is up through the ceiling, across, back down, over all the way to the other side of the basement. We replaced it with a PEX. So PEX is, it doesn't get pinhole pitting from this type of the water. So it allowed her to completely really fix this problem. There's no connections or anything, so they can't leak. So it's one pipe all the way to the
And you took care of that for her.
Yes, and we fixed her drywall and everything for no charge.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you did an outstanding job installing all of our stuff. I mean, I really can't say enough about, you guys came out, you did the work, you did a good job. It's perfect. and you clean up all your mess. And I mean, you really, and you let us know what to do and how to do it, and I haven't had any issues. We just are really thrilled. And I want to share, that's what I'm passionate about. I want to help other people make good choices when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle and understand what the options are. And this is a good option for good water.
Absolutely. And I worked for every water treatment company in Peoria before I started my own. And I'm the dealer for this particular product because it's the best and it works and it's got the longest warranty in it, and I don't have any issues with it, and I really, really like it. So I can help people understand the differences and why it would be better for this one versus this one. And I'm not pushy at all. You can keep your water as long as you want. Just trying to help.
I know, but I will say you are pretty passionate, Gary, but that's because, like you said, you've been doing this a long time, and so you understand the truth. And I get that passion, and you want people to know that truth about what you can show them. And because you've been doing it a long time, I'm sure you've used different systems, and so you're very familiar with what you think works the best.
Yes.
That is awesome. Lots of success stories. I mean, we've known each other now. You've been a part of I've Decided, and
I love it.
And you've come to Curves and talked to Curves, and we need to do that again, where you set up shop and they bring in their water and
I brought
do a free
test
test kit.
We also do indoor air testing with our laser particle counter.
Right.
So that allows us to see the amount of contaminants we're breathing in every day and helps to bring that number down. So again, we're removing the toxins that are getting into our body.
You set up around town every now and then, and people can bring water to you and do testing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you got coming down the pipeline to share?
This half-day conference. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, yeah. The half-day conference. Can they bring their water to that?
Absolutely.
You can test it there?
Yes, I always have my little...
That's awesome. So on
little test
Saturday,
kit.
April the 7th,
Yes.
we have our half-day conference, which a lot of you know about that, and you might already be registered. And so they can bring their water. When they bring their water to you, how do you need them to do that?
They can bring just a small bottle. I actually tell people, if you have a water bottle that was empty, just pour it in there. Because it's
fill that
only had
up.
water in it before, so it's not going to really affect it. It's going to give us a starting point.
Right.
I had some people at Naturally Yours, I had a line all the way out the door when they were trying to sign.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, because you've set up and you've come to Curves
And
and
I was
done it,
testing for nitrates and things, and I had people, they were shocked. They were like, "What? That's not supposed to be in our water."
Yeah.
So it'll identify maybe an issue that then I can later come out and do a full test, and we know if there's
And
a
you
need.
said sometimes people try to trick you.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they try to get you all messed up. They bring you your water that you've actually filtered, and they have you test it to
Yes,
see, and you're like,
I
"Hey,
did.
what's
I said,
going
That's
on?"
really good water. Then they go, "What's yours?" But
That's funny.
I did have a chiropractor one time who tried to trick me. He had 15 different bottles and different cups. And there was the one he recommended that I told him I wouldn't, give it to my dog. And he didn't appreciate that very much. So so he had me do all this, and there were still these two that were great. And the rest were just off the chart. And I could not say that. But it has nothing to do with taste. It's all about the testing. We test it, we know.
Yeah.
And the same thing with our equipment.
Yeah, so you can
we
taste your water,
continue
like,
to go
"Oh,
back
this
and test
water."
it.
Yeah.
And
And so you can come back later and
back
show
later.
the results.
Yep.
And you can actually see those results, right?
So we want to just make sure it's working like it's supposed to for the long life, 25 years.
Yeah. So, hey, if you're watching and you already have a system that Gary's put in for you, hey, do them a favor. Post some comments on here. Tell people how much you love it. If you're considering getting a system, ask some questions. If we don't get them right now, we can come back later. Gary, you can come back later and answer some of the questions. But how can someone get in touch with you if they want to have their water tested for free?
Well, you can go online, watermedics.com, and there is actually a place for free water testing. You can fill it out. It comes to actually my phone, and there's some questions a lot of times people ask, and I'll respond right away. And a lot of times I'll never even talk to the people before I get to their home. It's all through the email or the texting, because I always tell people that just text me a picture of my business card, and I'll come back and we'll contact that way. It works really well. People don't have to talk to people. That's a going trend.
Yeah. Everybody likes to text. That's
Yes.
that is the going trend these
Yes.
days. But back to that passion and your expert, the years that you've been doing this. I think, guys, it's so important that when you're thinking about making any kind of change in your life, whether it's you're going to live a healthy lifestyle or you've decided that you're going to write a book or finish school or whatever it is, you need to get connected with someone who has that experience.
Right.
You don't want to just believe everything you hear and jump on the next bandwagon looking for the next best thing. I think sometimes that happens. Don't you think, Gary? Like people
A lot of mistakes over and over.
Well, because you're looking for some magic. You're looking for something that's just going to be this new magic quick thing. And it comes back down to the expert. It comes back down to saying, if I was going to get water, why do I want to believe the next thing on TV when I've got someone right here in Peoria who's saying, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'm telling you, this is the truth.
There is a couple of different systems out there that just look great on paper. I mean, they look great on paper. And then I test them, and they fail horribly. And I try to tell people, don't invest all that money in this thing that's not going to get what you want, which is hydrated. It's going to keep you from being hydrated. So it's important that if they, I had a guy who bought this $2,000 system, and I end up going there. I test it, and I'm showing him, I'm just showing him this is not where you want to be. And he ended up sending it back because it was new enough.
So we got a couple minutes left. What are some of the toxins? Because I was on your Facebook page and I read something about fluoride.
Fluoride is a class 2 poison just below arsenic. It's oxidative. It hardens our teeth.
Which is why we want fluoride. The dentists are like, get your fluoride.
The problem is our teeth are as hard as they're ever going to be by the time we're 8. So I'm not sure if we need more hardening, but the point is it doesn't know the difference between your teeth and your arteries and your kidney and your liver. And if we're drinking it, it's hardening everything it touches. And that oxidizes stuff. So I'll give you an example. If an artery gets hardened, then when it needs to flex and it can't, it bursts. And that's how you could die very, very fast. So cholesterol is designed to plug those cracks. Mm-hmm. If we can eliminate the cause of these cracks, we can help eliminate buildup of cholesterol. We can help eliminate a lot of these things that are caused by that. And one of the things is drinking clean water that doesn't have these oxidative chemicals in them that are going to cause us problem over.
They're saying that fluoride is a contributor to cancer. And
one of the problems with water is we drink a lot of it.
We have to.
For most of our lives.
Speaking of, you are supposed to drink half your body weight in water every day. We got a question.
All right.
Melissa says, Gary, can you explain how we breathe in the toxins in our water while we are in the shower? Can you explain that real quickly?
Absolutely. So especially ammonia and chlorine, they come out as soon as they get sprayed. So they come out, and then you shut the door, and you close off everything, and you take a 20-minute shower. And most people probably hold their breath, right? No?
While you're in the shower for 20 minutes? Sure.
So when it gets airborne, you got to breathe. So when you breathe, you're breathing in these chemicals that go directly. They're small enough that they can go directly into your lungs. And your lungs is a connection to your bloodstream. So now your body is the filter. So we have to get rid of these. I mean, matter of fact, the EPA says one of your biggest sources of getting these contaminants in your body is through your skin and your lungs.
Yeah.
And so one of the testing for the air is where we got
talk a lot about the air purifiers, but that should be another story. That's another show.
We can talk more about the air, but basically put a barrier between you and your water supply so you're not the filter.
Yeah. That's a great note to end on. Don't be the filter.
Don't be the filter.
And, if you're working out and you're eating healthy, you got to drink clean water. I mean, don't breathe in these toxins. Don't consume toxins while you're trying to be healthy because you're kind of defeating the purpose.
Yes.
Anyway, I just love what you're doing, Gary. I love my water. I love being a water snob, and I feel good when I'm drinking my water knowing it doesn't have all those terrible, yucky toxins in it.
There you go.
So I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the show today. I hope you guys learned some stuff. Again, give us a shout out. Show us some love. Share this message and contact Gary. He'll be happy to come out and test your water all for free.
All for free.
It's a good deal.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
All right.
See, that half hour went by pretty fast, huh?
Wow. It's like
At first, you're like a half
unbelievable.
hour.
PeoriaLife.com.